Friends, one of the areas I'm most specialized in at this point is sleep, is in insomnia treatments. I've dealt with it my entire life at different points. I've had very unique insomnia experiences. I had horrendous insomnia and sleep problems coming off of benzos, and even at different periods post benzos. I think benzos leave you a little bit more vulnerable in some of these areas. And I finally really feel like I cracked the code of insomnia and sleep problems. And I can tell you, to answer the question why sleep aids can stop working, it's because the very nature of them is flawed. The very act of using a sleep aid over a certain period of time is flawed because it creates an act of resistance. It creates this pressure to sleep. That if I have, let's say, chamomile tea, then I'll be able to sleep. And this stuff works for sleep disturbances. Sure, if you're having a little trouble sleeping, oh, great, a glass of chamomile tea, some ashwagandha, or maybe a little melatonin or some Benadryl. These things can be very, very helpful. But once you develop insomnia, and insomnia is the fear of not sleeping, these things start to, the effectiveness of these things drastically diminishes. Not only does it diminish, but the act of engaging in things like tea or melatonin start to actually work against you. I mean, greatly work against you, like you would not believe. They're crutches. They are crutches that eventually become triggers, is what it is. Because, they're all acts of sleep resistance. So you start to say, man, I had a glass of this ashwagandha, but it's not doing anything. Well, let me try a second one. Let me try the blue light blocking sunglasses or glasses. Blocked out that blue lights. That'll help me, reduce the serotonin levels and I can sleep. Let me crank down the AC to 68 degrees because if it's colder, it's easier to sleep. Let me jack up the melatonin. Let me try some Benadryl. Let me listen to the meditation apps. Let me try some white noise. Let me listen to a podcast or a boring reading or watch a document. We try all of these things as an act of effort to sleep. And that's why they stop working, because sleep, my friends, is not something you do. It is something you allow. Now, you can see why, especially coming off of benzodiazepine, why this is so critical, because one, benzos, chemically cause insomnia. They can definitely kick up, or at least, on the very least, a lot of sleep disturbances. But if you come off benzos or you rattle that limbic system enough, yeah, you can have horrendous sleep. You can really go through some serious bouts of insomnia. But insomnia is a traditional sense, not just a chemically induced sense, and there is a lot of overlap here. Please hear me that, because you might be thinking, well, Dave, isn't insomnia coming off benzos all chemical? Hell no. Hell no, it isn't, my friends. Usually it's a very small piece. Now it's a bigger piece when it's more acute, right? When it's like, they cold turkeyed me or something like that, and I stopped sleeping for 2 or 3 days, right? That happens all the time. But I'm saying you're slowly been fighting this battle, and it all was initiated perhaps by benzo. It messed up your sleep. It started that fear in your mind of, God, I hope I sleep. What if I don't sleep? It's put in motion all of this act of resistance, all of these acts of using sleep aids. But again, once they stop, once you start to adapt to them, and we almost always adapt to them, they stop working, because the pressure on them to work becomes so high. And what this does is it really startles the limbic system in a way, right, that's very kind of under the radar. So imagine this. Say, picture you're sitting on the couch next to your limbic system, right? Your limbic system's like this obedient watchdog, and you're sitting there watching TV, and then suddenly you just get up and you start looking out the windows, and then you start to, lock the doors, and you're looking out, and you're just sort of running around the house. You're turning off lights. You're doing all this stuff. And the dog, AKA the limbic system, he starts to look at you going, what are you doing? I'm protecting the house. Are we in danger? No. I just want to make sure we're okay. And it goes, but why are you doing that? It seems like you're in danger, right? I mean, why are you acting like this? Why are you running around doing all these things? Why are you shutting the blinds? Why are you locking the door again? Why are you looking out the little pee hole of the door? Like, what's going on? It becomes startled, and that's what's happening with these acts of sleep resistance, or these, using all these sleep aids. God, I got to get the melatonin. I got to get the Benadryl. I got to get those blue light blocking glasses. Oh no, it's 8 o'clock. I usually am out of the shower by now and resting, and I think I missed. I'm already. It's already too late. You start to panic, and that panic, that resistance starts to translate as danger, and danger to the limbic system does what? It startles this limbic system, and it creates a cascade of hormonal response, such as adrenaline, cortisol. These things are designed to get you up and running and surviving. So as soon as that starts to activate, as soon as you activate that hyperarousal system of the brain, now sleep is getting so much more impossible. Now it's becoming so much more difficult. And that's essentially what happens with the sleep aids. They're great at first for sleep disturbances. For insomnia, sleep aids are terrible. What you actually need to do to recover for insomnia is the exact opposite. It's so counterintuitive. Again, but not in the sense when you really understand how anxiety works, how the limbic system works, how hyperarousal works, it all makes sense. Because we can all go back to that Chinese finger cuff example, which I love so much. You hear me talk about it all the time. That battling this stuff is like the same mechanism of the Chinese finger cuffs, where you put your fingers in and the little finger cuffs lock on as you try to pull your fingers out. And you start to panic. And the more you panic, the harder you pull out. Get my finger out of this trap. You start to go, oh my God, how do I get this off? And things get tighter and tighter and tighter. How do you get the Chinese finger cuffs off? You push forward, you relax, you move your fingers toward each other, and it loosens, and then you can slide your finger out. This is what happens as the sleep aids stop working. You start to panic. And what you need to do is go forward. You need to remove the sleep aids. You really do. You need to let go, have faith, stop fearing not sleeping, stop craving and being obsessive with the act of sleep, and just get out of your way. And just realize that sleep is like a train, and it's coming every hour, every half hour. It can come in 5 minutes. You could literally be sitting there on the couch watching a movie and completely wide awake, and the thought hits you, God, I am really awake. It's 11:30, man. I hope I can sleep. And you go, you know what? Who cares? If I sleep, great. If I don't, whatever. But here's the message to the limbic system. I'm not in danger. I'm not running around the house, locking the windows, locking the doors, peeking out like a crackhead, to see if somebody's out there. I'm just going to sit here and be natural. And if you do that, if you can accomplish that with insomnia, the strange thing happens that you start to realize this sleep drive can come on at any moment. I mean, you can literally be completely awake, and 5 minutes later, you're just about to completely black out. You're so tired. That was the thing when I was working on my insomnia, doing these methods, and I know I'm giving you a super condensed version of them. But as I was practicing no more sleep resistance, as I was stopping all the sleep aids, as I was learning to not fear, not sleeping, and I was learning to not be so obsessive about wanting to sleep, but rather just tried to be more natural, and just realize, hey, this thing will return. I just got to get out of my way, let the limbic system run its course, let it run its analysis, and learn that the environment's okay, and everything will come back. And once I did that, it always baffled me and astonished me that I could be sitting there, like I said, completely awake, and then just suddenly in 5 minutes felt like I was drugged. Boom, the sleep drive was here. It's arrived. And fast. It's not always like this very slow shifts of sleep, brain waves that you sort of get tired and more tired, and then, okay, I'm going to sleep. No, you can just be awake and then, oh God, I'm tired. And that's normal. That's how most of us feel. I mean, sure, there's levels of winding down, right? Like you're not running on a treadmill and then you're going to sit on the couch and 2 minutes later you're asleep. But if you're sitting there, watching a movie, relaxing, you can be completely awake, and in 5 minutes, just get your sleep drive arrives and you are completely clocked out. And that's important to know, because otherwise you sit there hyper vigilant, hyper aroused, and you're looking for clues. Man, I don't feel tired. I should have felt tired by now. Why don't I? Oh my God, I'm not going to sleep tonight. Oh man, tomorrow's going to be rough. I hate this. Why is this happening? And then your mind's off to the races. It's off to the races. And then so again, what do? We double down. Oh my God, maybe I should take more melatonin. Maybe another cup of that chamomile tea. What else can I do? Maybe a heated blanket. What about a weighted blanket? What about that meditation app? Okay, I'm going to turn off all the light. You act in all these rituals again, which again, my friends, and I know I'm being a little bit redundant, repeating myself, but I really want to paint a picture here. The act of all that is sending a message again to that limbic system that, in a subtle way, that something's wrong here. We have to do something to help the body achieve a natural effect. If sleep is as natural as eating food and going to the bathroom. It's as natural as your heart beating, if breathing air, right? It's an automatic thing that happens. But unlike some of those things, when you do miss a night of sleep, when you can miss a night of sleep, it sends this fearful message to the limbic system that something went wrong. And the limbic system, again, it goes, what? We didn't sleep. What does that mean? I don't know, but it's bad. And the limbic system says, oh my God, well, something bad, that must mean you're in danger. Here, I'm going to hit you with cortisol and a bunch of adrenaline. Did it help the situation? Heck no. Now I damn sure can't get to sleep. Now I lay there and lights are popping under my eyelids, my legs shaking, I'm twitching, I've got, little muscle twitches, and as soon as I hit the pillow, my hypoarousal system goes off. Right, because the limbic system has now associated that pillow with the source of danger. The bed has become a source of danger. And this is why, again, sleep aids stop working, because they're an act of resistance. An act of resistance is a subtle message to the limbic system that we're in danger.